traumas, yeah.
Okay, Darryl. I'd like to call to order the regular scheduled meeting for April 12th, 2021, City of Lindsay. Anthony, would you lead us in prayer, please?
Yes. Thank you for this day that you have made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. You are God and God alone. I pray, Lord, that you will lead us into your paths of righteousness, God, that you, Lord, will be exalted in this city, that your word will be proclaimed. In the name of the Lord Jesus Christ, we pray. Amen.
Amen.
The school did not have anyone to come tonight, and so,
I think we know it.
good, thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Hernandez.
Here.
Poole.
Here.
Miller.
Here.
Smith.
Here.
Dodson.
Here. Citizen comments, appearances, or petitions from audience. Action to be taken at a later meeting. Consent agenda. Approval of the minutes of the regular meeting on March 8th, 2021. Approval of the minutes of the special meeting on March 23rd, 2021. Acceptance of March 2021 financial reports. Acceptance of the payment of the purchase orders issued by the City of Lindsay for the month of March 2021. Approval on the renewal of the interlocal agreement with Garvin County Commissioners for fiscal year 21-22. Approval of the recertification of the City of Lindsay Fire Department with the Oklahoma Forestry Services.
Move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Hernandez.
Yes.
Poole.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Dodson.
Yes. Consideration of items removed from the consent agenda. There were none. Council resignation, discussion, and acceptance of resignation of Council Member Scruggs from the City of Lindsay Council / LPWA Trust.
Move to accept.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Hernandez.
Yes.
Poole.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Dodson.
Yes. Discussion and possible action to fill the seat vacated by Council Member Scruggs with Tom Inman.
Does he have a wait time before he can be seated as a council member?
No, but to become a city manager, you can't come off the county. You have to wait. I think there's a 3-year waiting period before you can be the city manager. But coming back, there's not a time period.
Right, it's, you can't leave the council and become the city manager.
That's
You
right.
Come back the other direction.
Sure you want to do it, Tom?
It's up to you guys. I'll do it if that's what you guys want.
I'll move to do that.
I did have one other question. Don't we technically have 2 empty seats?
Right,
Legally,
but Lynn's the
you
only
have
one
one.
you can fill.
Okay.
You have one because the election's already taken place.
I thought we still had an empty seat open.
Right, but the election.
But the election's already taken place. It's already been filled by the election.
Okay.
So the general election was April 6th, but we had it earlier, or was
It would have been April 6th.
it would have been April 6th?
If someone more than, well, I guess one more person would have ran.
We only had 4, and we had 4 seats.
Right. Well, I just wanted to clarify. I know it said general election and stuff, so just we get clarification.
Basically, your term of office runs from, you all have a 2-year term of office. Your term of office is going to run from the second Monday after the election, which is basically the third Monday, assuming the election takes place the first week. And so even if you don't, let's say, for example, like Daniel Poole, he's entitled to fill his entire term of office, even though he decided not to run again. So the term lasts for the entire duration, even though you didn't have to have an actual election. You're entitled to fill your seat, whether you lose the election or you decide not to run again.
Right.
So,
Yeah, I just know there was hiccups on possibly who could come in, or, as far as the dates and stuff.
and let me explain this. The way it works is this. You have a, sorry, if you can't, I'm going to take this off so you can hear me better. So, the city of Lindsay at one time did have wards. They had each council that had a ward. Oh, am I not turned on? Oh, I need to get closer. Okay. So, but you have at-large elections now. So when you had the election, if you had, at the time that the election was conducted, if you had 2 vacancies, the 2 people who ran unopposed, who were not incumbents, the council could have gone ahead and appointed them and let them fill those vacancies. But what happened was, at the time, you only had, when the election took place and the election was concluded, you had 2 people who were not incumbents, and you only had 1 vacancy. And there wasn't any way of determining, because you don't run for a specific position. Does that make sense? So let's say if you had your vacancy had been a vacancy for Ward 1, and the person who filed for Ward 1 for that vacancy had run unopposed, they could have been sworn in and could have taken the seat immediately and filled the vacancy for the end of that term as well as the next term. But the way your at-large is, you all don't run for specific wards. And so that's the reason that couldn't be done. There wasn't any way of determining which of the 2 people who were not incumbents should fill that vacancy. And then, of course, Daniel didn't run, but he's certainly entitled to fill out his term of office. And even if you run and you're defeated, you still sit and you finish out your term of office. Does that answer your question? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Did someone make the motion?
No.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
Josh
Right.
made a motion, Miller made a motion. I need a second.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Hernandez.
No.
Poole.
No.
Miller.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Dodson.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Guys, I don't, there is that much opposition right now. I don't know. I think I'll just withdraw. I'm just doing it, for the city. It may not be the best thing, and it's not hurting my feelings or anything. Don't take it that way. I would just rather have it, everybody on board. So I appreciate it, though. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Lindsay Municipal Hospital Authority update.
Good evening, Jeff with Lindsay Hospital. On behalf of the Board of Directors, employees of Lindsay Hospital, we continue to be very appreciative for the help and partnership with the city and all of its employees. During yet another challenging weather event with ice, snow, and record low temperatures, EMS, police, fire, and all departments of the city worked tirelessly helping us ensure there was continuous access to health care. So I really appreciate we all worked well together. And of course, the city had tons of other things to try to take care of for all the citizens, so we definitely appreciate your help. We also want to thank the community for volunteering to do anything that might be necessary to keep things going. With people volunteering to pick people up, EMS, police, fire, they all said they pick up doctors or PAs, so definitely appreciate that. Additionally, I'm happy to report a decline in COVID patients presenting to the ER, as well as significant reduction in COVID-positive inpatients. We are remaining vigilant until the pandemic's officially over. To exercise caution based on CDC guidelines, so we do still have the single point of entry at the emergency room. We do the screening process, however, visitors are allowed in, and also visitors for inpatients, so we're trying to make that accommodating for everybody to be able to come in and have a little bit more normal interaction. Those processes have been successful in curtailing the spread within the hospital and from employee to employee. And today, we have 0 positive employees and actually 0. I'm trying to think of the term. We've heard it a million times, but 0 people that have been near other employees or other people that were positive. Fiscal year to date, June 1st, 2020 to June 30, 2021, still kind of looks the same for the most part, but there are some positive signs. We are down on admissions by about 20%. Surgeries are down 50%, but those are picking back up, so that 50% is really from prior times when we had to close surgery. Clinic visits are down quite a bit because there's not as much in-person clinic visits happening. CTs are 27% down, ER visits are still down. But on the positive signs, the patient days are actually almost 3% higher year to date than they were last fiscal year to date. And then outpatient visits are up almost 5.5%, 5.4%. And that's people are catching up, coming in and getting their lab work, CTs, x-rays, all those things that were put off. So I think that's good signs. And another positive note, we're excited to break ground on a new building that is actually supported by the COVID funding. And that'll help us store our PPE and equipment storage. It also allows us to have some meeting space and other critical infrastructure. So it'll be beneficial for all kinds of things, but definitely help us to prepare for the future. So if hopefully, knock on wood, this doesn't happen again anytime soon, but we would have the supplies and all those things in stock. So obviously this was a nationwide issue where no one expected something this big. So this time, I think hospitals across the nation will have stuff in storage. And in conclusion, I'd like to thank all the citizens of Lindsay for their patience and graciousness in going through these CDC recommended processes. It's obviously been a pain to do that, not just at the hospital, but everything's been a pain, so I think we're coming out of that. But we're blessed to be in a community that works to support each other, even in less ideal and stressful circumstances. So I appreciate it. And is there any questions or things you'd like to hear next time?
We appreciate it. Keep up the good work.
Thank you, guys. We appreciate you.
Discussion and possible action on the installation status and completion time of the fence at Green Hill Cemetery.
We did get proof of insurance
Yes.
Friday
I
or
have not
Monday.
received the signed document, so it's not legal yet.
Okay, but no starting until, I mean,
Right, the project's on hold until we get that bond information, but we should have that by sometime this week, so we'll resume on that as soon as we get that document.
Well, it's been nice weather for it. They'd had it done.
Yeah.
Discussion and possible action to go out for bid on RFP 2021-07 for the construction of a pavilion at Green Hill Cemetery.
Get 3 of them.
how are y'all?
All the feel of estrogen amongst all the testosterone. We have, I understand that you all have pictures, is that correct?
Yes.
And you've seen the pavilion. Have you seen the dimensions that we basically came up with?
40.
The specs and.
40 by 40.
Yes. We have a last minute, just some dimensions, just some supplies, maybe Timothy might be able someday to make a copy. We feel like this would be the perfect thing for us. It's really nice. The dimensions are not huge, and yet they're not too small. It's a nice shape. It's a nice, just a nice building all the way around. We're going to implement that we'll have shades to pull down for, wind, sun, et cetera, weather. We've got the community. We've got several people in the community really think that it's really nice. Think there's a need for it. So we're just basically asking and proposing the council to agree to this, to the billing of it for the bids, so that we can get this thing going and get it started, and hopefully, maybe we can get it finished about the same time the fence is finished.
That fence better be finished.
Can I add in that we did have some interest from the community of donations as well? So there has been interest from the community to help fund the project.
And also the benches that might go in there. Maybe we could get people to donate some of those with the memorial on each one, if anybody would be interested in something like that. So,
That would be good. I think there's going to be plenty of money in y'all's fund already, but the less we have to use of that through donations, even better. So I think it's a great idea.
thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank y'all for the work put in that.
Let's see, where we at?
12.
I'll make a motion for the pavilion to go out for bid.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Hernandez.
Yes.
Poole.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Dodson.
Yes. Discussion and possible action to go out for bid on RFP 2021-03 for the installation of approximately 2,700 square feet of metal roof, gutters, and trim at the City of Lindsay Animal Shelter.
Is that all you got on that? I mean, anything you want to add? I mean,
Just the specs on it. Basically, by putting the pitched roof on that, it will allow the water to drain so that in the future there won't be water problems that come in and cause the mold issue that we've gotten right now. So there's been a leak in that roof for a while, and it's created some black mold, so we've had to go in and tear some of that out. So by putting this pitched roof, it will alleviate the water problems that we have right now.
So we're just building a roof over the roof.
Yes.
That's easy.
And that'll kind of match in with the shelter that's there next door, too.
Yes,
That'd be good.
yes, absolutely.
I'll make a motion to put RFP 2021-03 out for bids.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Hernandez.
Yes.
Poole.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Smith.
yes.
Dodson.
Yes. Discussion and possible action to go out for bid on RFP 2021-04 for the repair of the west wall and roof roll top at the City of Lindsay Library in order to stop the leakage of water into the library.
So I want to clarify this just a little bit. It's not the actual roof that's leaking. It's the stucco exterior wall. And so basically, we would need to brick up that side of the wall to, basically there were some windows that were bricked in. That's causing a leak in the stucco. So the stucco is basically disintegrating. So if we repair the wall, it'll keep the water from where it runs in, where the wall and the roof meet. So it's not really the roof, it's just a repair to the wall.
Does that matter on the motion then? Do we need to update that or? no?
Because it goes all the way up to the roof. That's why I
So
did
it's a
it.
little bit of both.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Little
it
bit
says
of both.
repair of the west, wall and the roof roll top.
So moved.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Hernandez.
Yes.
Poole.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Dodson.
Yes. Discussion and possible action to go out for bid on RFP 2021-05 for the installation of laminate flooring on approximately 800 square feet.
Now this, I do want to know if the city employees can put that down, because that's like I mean, it's laminate flooring, it snaps together,
Goes
it's
in back, yeah.
waterproof. I mean, I'm just thinking saving money.
Before we put the floor in it, I'd really like to see the leaks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, I mean, that, I just Don't want to
Don't
put
go
carpet
in,
back in
carpet
there.
Like was in there.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, carpet was nasty.
Yeah, the reason for the floor was just so that if there was ever any leaks again, we wouldn't have to rip out and throw away all the carpet. It'd be something that we could manage a little easier and more cost effective in the future. But yes, our city could put the flooring in ourselves.
Then we could table that?
If we put it out for bid, do we have to accept an outside bid? Because we could just see if someone put it in cheaper than we could do it.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's not gonna hurt.
Yeah.
So I'm all for your idea then. But
Just keep in mind, costs are going up right now. If we put it out
Yeah.
for bid now, we'll have to go again. So it's up to you guys.
Well, we might just get the square footage and get the price of the flooring and.
Have the flooring and installation separately.
Mhm.
Would you do that in your specs, to have the flooring and the installation separated? You have to be really careful about the flooring, though, to make sure that the city workers install that laminate flooring, that they do it, dot their i's and cross their t's in the manner that the manufacturer requires for the warranty to be good. I see that all the time. It's like, oh, you used the wrong this, and you didn't do this right, and man, they will honor their warranties on that flooring if it's not installed according to the manufacturer's instructions. But you can download those off of the website if they don't come in the flooring. I've seen that a lot, where people had problems with their flooring, the manufacturers wouldn't warrant it because of the installation.
Well, let's make a motion, we put it out for bid with those.
With the flooring and the installation separate bids. Okay.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Hernandez.
Yes.
Poole.
yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Hodson.
Yes. Discussion and possible action to go out for bid on RFP 2021-06 for the installation of approximately 7,000 square feet of sidewalks at Glen Curley Park.
So the 3 foot of sidewalks that's there, we're wanting to add an additional 3 foot, which would give us 6 foot to that walkway, which would make it, it's technically ADA compliant, but there's no edging to it, so it creates a hazard. So by widening that, it would allow for ADA and for 2 people to walk both ways on the path.
So moved.
Second?
Okay, when you make that motion, can you go ahead and have it include to do the budget amendment from the donation account for this?
Yes. The donation account.
So my motion is from Miller.
Roll call, please.
Who is my second?
Daniel.
Thank you, Daniel. Hernandez.
Yes.
Poole.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Dodson.
Yes. Discussion and possible action to go out for bid on RFP 2021-08 for the installation of approximately 24 ADA compliant curb cuts on Main Street and other designated areas.
So this is actually a state mandate that was passed prior to my arrival. And it's something that to be ADA compliant, we were supposed to have already done. So we just need to get these curb cutouts done on Main Street so that as we're having festivals and bringing more.
Do it in the past, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But we will have the money for it. We just have to authorize a budget amendment for it as well.
Okay. I'd make a motion to approve it.
Second.
And with the budget amendment? Thank you.
Roll call, please.
Hernandez.
Yes.
Poole.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Dodson.
Yes. Discussion and possible action to go out for bid on RFP 2021-10 for the removal of brush piles from the banks of High Barker Creek.
So on this one, as we were clearing High Barker Creek, of course, we have quite a bit of debris. We've already hauled off quite a bit of that and burned it, but there's quite a few large piles of trees that we don't have the equipment to haul off. So we're gonna burn what we can with the landowner's permission where it's at, but everything else will need to be hauled off to a safe location for the fire department to burn it. So what we're looking at is going out for bid for someone that has the equipment to pull the great big trees out of where they're at so that they can be taken to a location for proper disposal.
Did we contract with someone to do the tree removal originally?
No, it was just for the actual track hoe and the removal of them from the bank, not for the disposal of any of the,
Okay, I thought it included that.
it did not.
Okay.
Can I ask a question? The Garvin County Conservation is pretty much takes care of this. And as far as burning, because if the wind's out of the south, it's gonna go up on Murray Hill. If the wind's out of the north, it's gonna affect downtown.
They're burning it down at the lagoons.
At the lagoons? Okay. But why can we not get with the conservation to see the best way to handle this before we put it out for bids?
I'm pretty sure that we did. But the Corps of Engineers, they're the one that handle it. They built it.
Well, it's Mark Harrison that's over the conservation. I think the city really ought to get in touch with him to see what's what, because it's over the flood control dams.
We have a contact, his name is Nate. That's who we've been dealing with at the same place.
Okay. Sounds like we're in contact with them already.
Okay.
I-
Okay.
Now, do we want to go ahead and burn where we can burn?
Yes, we're gonna burn where we can. There's certain places we have permission to burn on location, and then there are places that we don't have landowner permission. Those would have to be removed, and then like down by Pizza Hut, those trees are so large, our equipment just can't handle them at all. We have nothing that can move them. They're just too big. So we obviously can't burn them right next to Pizza Hut, so we're gonna have to look at an alternative to get them removed to a suitable place that we can burn them.
So, only what can't be burned where it's sitting is gonna be bid out.
Correct.
Okay.
So where are the places that it can't be burned? Where are they?
I don't have the list with me, but there's a homeowners list that have given us permission.
I know the state highways burn,
Yeah.
but that's state highway. That's out in,
They're on their easements when they burn.
yeah. We did get that. How much was the ton? We got a heck of a price on that deal when we did it, 19,000, and then there was a grant kicked in.
19,950, and Garvin County Conservation Commission paid half. I billed them
So
today
it cost
for
us about
less than 10,000.
less than 10,000 to get the whole thing done.
Which is like $100,000 job.
Oh, yeah, well, the second bid was over 100.
Yeah, so it was initially gonna be well over 100,000, so if we bid out just the removal, we'd still be ahead of the game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna make a motion to go ahead and put it out for bid, that way that process is started. But maybe we can come up with something else in the meantime while we're getting them.
But at least that gives us something to fall back on if we
Mhm.
can't.
Okay, so your motion is to put it out for bid and explore other options. Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Hernandez.
Yes.
Bull.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Dodson.
Yes. Discussion and possible action to vote for up to 2 nominees to serve on the Board of Trustees of the Oklahoma Municipal Assurance Group.
How did we want to set out votes?
You just have to choose 2 of those people, or one of them, or none of them.
Well, I thought Mike Winery was or Mark Winery was an interesting choice.
Is that a motion?
I'm just throwing it out there for discussion.
Can you clarify that, Debbie? What's this mean right here? Just
Well,
kinda-
basically, the city belongs to OMAG.
Yes.
And then as a member of OMAG, you have the right to vote for 2 nominees to sit on the board. You can vote, I mean, you don't have to, but you have the option to do that. If if you think, for example, I mean, well, I think maybe somebody in a smaller town would have more in common with us than a bigger town, or if you know some of the names. I mean, it's just a option that you have. You can nominate 1 or 2, or you can decide, if you don't think you know enough about any of them, to not vote at all. But as members of OMAG, you have a right to vote on who the trustees are going to be.
I wouldn't know who I was be voting for, would you? I mean,
Right, I'm not familiar enough with,
So I guess you can make a motion not to vote if you don't want to.
Or no action.
Or no action.
You know, I mean, you can take no action if you want to. Again, that's just, you have the right to vote because the city of Lindsay is a member of OMAG, so. But you don't have an obligation to, you have a right to.
well, the due date's not until May 31st, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So,
If you want to take no action at this time, you know, and give it further consideration.
I'm not going to be associated with dumbasses.
I can't do it because I don't know. I'd just be picking and choosing. I can't do that. I mean,
right.
I think we just need to. It'd be nice if they came here and presented themselves and we knew something about them, but just to sit here and pick a name out, I can't.
Well, 2 of them sent you letters. Those are included in your packet. You did not hear from the others.
Well, definitely the 2 we didn't hear from then.
Where's Manford, Oklahoma?
Manford is,
Northwest of
it's
Tulsa.
actually not too far from Sand Springs.
My boy fished 2 days there.
There's by Keystone Lake, you know where Keystone Lake is? That's Manford's up there.
Can we table this and bring this back to the May meeting?
Yes.
When we have the full council, I mean, after we swear in the new council? I mean, I would like to have everybody, if this is gonna be a big deal, I'd like to have everyone on board, the new council members, maybe everybody's opinion, we could get together. If we still don't feel like it, we can, is that fair enough?
Sounds good to me.
Okay, so your motion is to table it until the May meeting.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Yes.
Wolf,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Dodson.
Yes. Discussion and possible action to renew the agreement of the State of Oklahoma for the purchase card program as set forth in the purchase card agreement between the State of Oklahoma and Bank of America dated as of July 31st, 2020.
So this is just renewment of the P cards, the city's P cards.
Move to renew.
And just to double check, those are like the employee cards for making okay, I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Hernandez,
Yes.
Wolf,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Dodson.
Yes. Discussion and possible action to waive competitive bidding and purchase a 2021 Can-Am Defender Pro DPS through the Oklahoma State contract for the EMS department.
Anthony, did you want to come up and talk about this?
Good evening. A couple of years ago, maybe 3 years ago, the fire department purchased a side-by-side. At that time, we had a fire skid made for it, and we had an EMS skid made for it. And that was the most economical solution at the time. We have found since then that that does not work. One of the reasons that we need a side-by-side is for wildland fires, grass fires. If a firefighter goes down, the existing side-by-side has the fire skid on it. So the rationale behind getting another one is that we can do everything that we need to do in a situation such as that. More commonly, we would probably use it for mass gatherings, public events like we have coming up. And the big thing is gaining access to patients in as safe a manner as possible, rather than trying to drive a one-ton truck with a big box on the back through a crowd and things like that. So that's why we're looking at getting one. The money, from what I understand, is from donation money, so it wouldn't come out of our budget technically. But I think we could benefit with one. I think it would allow us to transport patients, gain access to patients much more safely than what we're capable of doing now. I know that everybody sees the cots for transporting patients. Technically, we're not supposed to transport patients on the cot for more than very, very short distances. And the Can-Am, the ATVs will allow us to use existing cots to load the patients and stuff like that. So that's the rationale behind it.
And we want to waive the bidding so we don't have to buy a second skid, right?
Say again?
You want to waive the bidding so you can get the same model that fits the skid, right?
We can modify the skid and/or the bed to make it work, and we'll probably just take the bed off and mount it to the existing frame. That's what we've talked about.
Okay. So it doesn't have to be the specific model, or?
No.
Okay.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't have to be a Can-Am. The reason we went with the Can-Am is it's about the same price as a Kawasaki or the others. This particular one has a longer bed. So again, it's safer. It has a longer wheelbase also, so we won't have the rear end heavy type thing if we get a patient and two medics on there or whatever. That's the rationale behind that.
One of the reasons that we discussed bringing this in now is as the city continues to do more festivals and bring in more people. So for example, Fall Fest, if we bring in 5,000 to 20,000 people on top of our normal town, this will allow them to get into places, like you said, maybe where it's too wet for the ambulance to go, and we can go off-road or become more accessible to mass gatherings.
It's also about having a plan in place for large events, large-scale events like that. You know, our population is 3,000, but if we just start drawing in even 1,000, we're going to have a way to gain access to them. And if we get any larger than that, we may find that we need two at some point. It just depends on what's going on. But I can tell you from experience that without one, it would create problems. It would create transport problems and gaining access. Some patients are time sensitive, so it's important that we get there as quickly as we can and be able to get the equipment to them also. That will help us out.
Anything else, anybody?
Thank you, Anthony.
Thank y'all.
So from a legal standpoint, why is the wording of the motion to waive the competitive bidding?
Well,
State contract.
If you can purchase from the state contract in lieu of going out for competitive bids under Oklahoma law. And so, basically, it's just explaining, you wouldn't technically have to waive competitive bidding to go out for state contract, because if you use the state contract, you don't have to competitively bid, because the state of Oklahoma has already competitively bid the item, and presumably under law has already obtain the best price possible.
Okay. I just didn't want another Lynn dogging us for a couple of years down the road.
No, anytime you purchase, you can purchase from the state contract. If what you want is available from the state contract and you're satisfied with that price, you don't have to go out for competitive bids because, that's the law provides, they've already done it.
Right.
They've already gone out for bids, and they have awarded the contract to what the state determined to be the lowest bidder.
Okay, and that's what this
And then
motion
you're
is for,
basically
just taking
piggybacking
from
on
the state
that,
bid.
right?
Okay. Well, I would make a motion to accept that as written then.
The 16, is it all coming from donations, or?
Yes, and so your motion would have to include, to do the budget amendment, because what we're trying to do is to move all of our expenses coming out of Straight City and LPWA, all these other funds will be budget amendment into it or budgeted in the beginning.
Okay.
It's better tracking that way.
I'll second if you'll accept the amendment.
You're okay with the amendment?
Roll call, please.
Hernandez.
Yes.
Poole.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Dodson.
Yes. Discussion and possible action on the professional services contract with ABC Pyrotechnics for fireworks display to be held on June 26, 2021.
Move to accept.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Hernandez.
Yes.
Poole.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Dodson.
Yes. Discussion and possible action on entering into an agreement with Midwest Biological Supply.
Everybody know what that is?
This is for the animal shelter. Did we accept?
Waste disposal for them.
So it's waste disposal, so they'll donate the freezer as a humane way for us to hold the animals until they come and get them. We, in turn, pay for the electric for the freezer, so.
And at the last meeting, Amanda had made some recommendations to change, and they refused to change it. And Samantha did some checking on what it would cost us if we have to dispose them, and it's a minimum of $25 per animal.
So this is much cheaper for us,
Okay.
much cheaper.
So she said if y'all were okay with accepting it, then she was fine with it.
Okay. I remember we discussed it. I just couldn't remember where we were landing last time. Okay.
I slept since then.
It's basically disposing of necessary animals.
I'll move to accept it.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Hernandez.
Yes.
Poole.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Dodson.
Yes. Discussion and possible action to set a special meeting for council training and annual update to the council handbook for the OMAG recognition program.
We're required to do an annual update to the council member handbook in order to reduce our insurance premiums and get a rebate on it. And as the document said in there, we've gotten up to $8,000 back on it. It's to help minimize our liability. And so they pay back to any council that will do the handbook and have the training.
It's kind of like a rebate.
And we pay a lot in premiums.
For the new members. When can y'all do it?
Pick a day. I'll show up.
You want it on a Saturday, or do you care?
No.
Or it can be on a regular council meeting and we just limit the amount of business.
How long is it? It's
That particular one is roughly an hour, and then also Debbie was going to do the training on the city side, city-specific side.
Amanda may want to do it.
Right, but it can
Yeah.
be done at the same time, or it can be done at a different time.
When we had done that before, we'd done it on a Saturday. It wouldn't have to be done on a Saturday, but again, Amanda may want to handle it if she does.
How about Monday, the 19th?
oh,
It's a week, that's like in 7 days.
Yeah.
Amanda wouldn't be able to go on Monday the
Not that
19th because there's a city council meeting
Council
Monday
meeting
night. Jigshay, yeah.
Well, Bray's probably got a ball game to go to.
Well,
yeah.
remember, your new council members aren't gonna be sworn in until May.
No, they
They
get
can
sworn
be
in
on
Monday.
Monday.
Yeah, we could swear them in on that day.
They
That's
can
why-
be sworn in on Monday, yeah.
That's why I said Monday.
Well, we could do the OMAG training on that day and not do the city one, if that's what you wanna do.
So does OMAG come down to do it? So don't you have to check with them to find out when they can come?
Bill Tackett told me to just let him know.
Oh,
So
okay.
I will let you know if that date doesn't work.
I will not be here on the 19th, period. I will not be here on the 20th, and I will not be here on any day that my son plays baseball. So I give enough to this city, and I am not sacrificing that.
Nineteenth good with you?
At 6 o'clock.
Yeah, at 6 o'clock.
Why would you do that?
Do you want to give me an alternate date, just in case they can't make it the 19th?
Ask them, I don't know.
What's the question?
An alternate date, just in case.
Sure, the next day is great.
Tuesday, the 20th? Okay. So I'm counting Eric as my motion?
Sure.
Second?
Second.
Roll call.
Hernandez?
Yes.
Wolf?
Yes.
Miller?
Yes.
Smith?
No.
Dodson?
Yes. Discussion and possible action to open a bank account for Freedom Festival donation funds received.
In order for us to open any new bank accounts, council has to make that approval. And I know you guys talked about opening the 2 new ones at American Exchange. Is that, I need to know which bank you wanted at. That's what someone had told me.
But don't say y'all when you said someone and then say
Yes, I
someone,
didn't
so.
mean you all, sorry.
It's, Rebecca, what do you think? I don't need to talk to her.
So we wanted to just open 2 new festival accounts so that it would be easy to track the money when we bring in donations. So we wanted to open an account to keep all the Fall Fest money in, and then one to keep all of the Freedom Fest donations in, just so we can keep the donations for each festival separate and we can line item and keep track of everything. We were just thinking spread the business around. But it's completely up to y'all.
Well, if somebody makes a donation, we gotta put it somewhere.
Right.
It needs to go in an account for that, I guess.
We just don't want all those donations going into the general fund and it looking.
Yeah, sometimes they'll put it in the general fund and then just earmark it separately, and I think she's saying that if you just have a separate bank account, it's gonna be a lot cleaner than having it earmarked in the general fund.
Do we currently have an account for just festivals or events?
Just donations.
Just
Okay.
like a regular donation account.
I'll make a motion, we open up an account.
Location?
Which bank would you like us to use?
Where we going?
Do we know how many banks, like, do we need to give different banks our business or
Well,
spread it
I
out?
mean, that's up to you guys. We currently have our money in at First National, and I don't know where it came up, but the thought process was to just spread our business around to First or American Exchange, or keep one, to do donations, and one to do our regular business in. And they had also,
They're considering.
they're
doing
considering
the Hog
helping us
Festa.
out doing some some of the Hog Festival, prize money type stuff for us too.
So we don't currently have an account with them at all? I mean, I'd be okay giving some business to Lindsay Business.
I'll second. Or have we even made the yeah, I made the motion.
Yeah. And the first one is for Freedom Festival, because we have to do each one separate.
Yeah.
I'll second.
Roll call.
Hernandez.
Yes.
Wolf.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Dodson.
Yes. Discussion and possible action to open a bank account for Fall Hog Festival donation fund received.
So moved.
So the same thing.
I'm sorry, Miller. Same motion.
Same motion.
Second.
Thank you.
Roll call, please.
Hernandez.
Yes.
Wolf.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Dodson.
Yes. Fall Festival update.
So we've secured, so we have 3 main events secured. We have the hog hunt that'll start 2 weeks prior to the event, right? 1 week prior to the event. And we have the Kansas City Barbecue Society is going to do a sanctioned barbecue event. Up to 50 teams will come in to cook off. They're all part of their society. So it goes to their team cooking points throughout the year. But locals can also cook in the event. So we've secured that sanctioned event to come for Fall Fest. And then we have the 3 concerts with the 20-minute fireworks show at the end. So we have 20 full minutes of fireworks at the end of the concert. And then we have a call. We're still waiting on an answer back from the Heisman Club to come down and do some autographs. I know we have a wood carver that's set up. I'm trying to think what else update-wise. We did waive all permit fees for the Fall Fest to get more vendors to come in.
Cool, thank you. Discussion and possible action to extend the curfew past 10 p.m. in conjunction to the Freedom Festival and the Fall Festival.
So we know we're gonna have stuff going on past 10 o'clock. We just wanted to extend the curfew later in conjunction with the events so that the curfew matches when all the festivities will be ending.
And for clarification, the curfew that we're talking about is for people under 18, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
You have a time you want to move it to?
Midnight would probably capture everything that is going on, don't you? It should, if the fireworks are 20 minutes and the last show's over at 11:30. Pretty close. It's up to y'all. Midnight, 1 o'clock, whatever.
Were they saying the concert was going to start at 9:30?
9 to 10:30?
5:30, I thought.
It'll start, yeah.
The last show.
Sorry, so it ended. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because there's 3 of them, so by the time they all... And that would also, not just for people under 18, but that would also be the noise ordinance as well. So that normally it's 10 o'clock, and that would extend the noise ordinance too, for those 2 events.
I'm going to say 12:30. Everybody would be out of there and shut down by then, clean up, whatever.
Yeah.
Make a motion for 12:30.
Perfect.
12:30 a.m.
Yep.
Thank you.
Do we need to do those as 2 separate? Or can we do them as one?
You can do them as one.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Hernandez.
No.
Poole.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Dodson.
Yes. City manager comments?
The Animal Welfare Center, just wanted to give you guys an update on some of the things. So we've taken the old police station and turned it into the Animal Welfare Center. And this all started because we were tearing down the substation and we needed to relocate the kennels that were out there. So we took an empty building that we already owned and decided to turn it into the Animal Welfare Center. The inside's been painted and ventilated. We've relocated the kennels from the substation to the current location. We've taken in $600 in donations from Petco in Norman. In food and supplies, Home Depot in Norman has donated 2 windows. T.H. Rogers has also donated quite a bit of drywall and lumber materials to repair that building. So our grand opening date was May 1st. We were going to try to grand open it. Since we happened to go out for bids for the roof, we're going to delay that a little bit, but we're going to try to coordinate the grand opening of it with a festival. So we'll probably push that back to Freedom Fest and do a grand opening. At that time, there'll be a dog adoption event and some other activities that will coincide with that grand opening event. We added a new dog park to the 4th Street North Park. The fencing's been installed. We're going to be adding new lighting to that park to light it all up. The dog park sign is on order and the trash receptacles will be installed tomorrow. Glen Curley Park, we've been updating that park, getting ready for the festivals that will be going on down there. We've painted all the guardrails around black. We just this week fixed over 25 leaks at the swimming pool, replaced the groundwater pump at the swimming pool, repainted all the lines on the pool. We've started trimming and maintaining the trees at that park. And we're planning on adding a redbud memorial tree garden. We've taken down a couple cedar trees and are going to plant back a grove of redbud trees that if people would like, they can purchase a little memoriam plaque that we'll place by the tree and light up. And then the golf course, we got a paddle boat and 2 kayaks. So tomorrow the guys will start the enclosure for the paddle boats and the kayaks out at the golf course so that May 1st they can start renting those out. And then the last thing I have are the Girl Scouts are looking for volunteers. So I know that they have garden boxes up at the chamber, but they are looking for any volunteers they can get to help them out maintain some of that stuff. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Governing board comments? I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Hernandez.
Yes.
Poole.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Dodson.
Yes. I'd like to call to order the Lindsay Public Works Authority meeting, March 8, 2021. Roll call, please.
Hernandez.
Here.
Poole.
Here?
Miller.
Here.
Smith.
Here.
Dodson.
Here. Citizen comments?
Did you say March? I just realized I think it's supposed to be April.
Yeah, it is.
I
Yeah.
pointed
The
that out
agenda
to
was
Kathy.
corrected that was posted.
Oh,
Yeah, and Kathy,
Yeah.
the packet, I think, was already prepared at the time that Kathy said that it has been changed
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
before it was
I read it.
posted.
Well, you said it, and for a minute I was going to believe you. I was like, okay.
He's just reading.
It's a rollback.
Yeah. Consent agenda approval of minutes of the regular meeting on March 8, 2021. Ratification of city council's action on the minutes of the special meeting on March 23, 2021. acceptance of March 2021 financial reports, acceptance of the payment of the purchase orders issued by the City of Lindsay for the month of March 2021, ratification of City Council's action on the renewal of the interlocal agreement with the Garvin County Commissioners for fiscal year 21-22, discussion of possible action to renew the agreement with the State of Oklahoma for the purchase card program as set forth in the purchase card agreement between the State of Oklahoma and Bank of America dated as July 31st, 2020. Ratification of City Council's action on professional services contract with ABC Pyrotechnics for fireworks display to be held on June 26, 2021.
Move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Hernandez.
Yes.
Poole.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Dodson.
Yes. Consideration of items removed from consent agenda. There were none. Discussion and possible action to go out for bid on RFP 2021-09 soliciting bids for the installation of additional hangars to be constructed at the City of Lindsay LPWA Airport.
So move.
Second.
Roll call.
Hernandez.
Yes.
Poole.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Dodson.
Yes. Discussion and possible action on 418 Olive Street, including but not limited to the renewal of the rental agreement or the potential sale of the property.
I did check today, the appraisal will not be done until later this week because he's been so backed up.
Are they intending to buy it this
They
time
would
around?
like to.
Okay. Yeah.
And I heard 160.
So 160 or the appraisal, whichever one is lower.
Making sure we're clarified with that. Is that how they can make the motion? Because originally he was told 160,000 when they rented it.
Does the years that they rented it come off the price?
No,
Okay.
it was strictly a rental.
I'm just looking at this that you've attached here. Said a motion was made as to list 418 Olive for sale by owner for $160,000 or for rent for $850 until sold, and to review any rent with option to purchase offers from renters. So this March 11th, 2019, it said that it was going to be listed for sale for $160,000. That doesn't mean that you have to sell it for $160,000 in 2021. I mean, that's the way I'm reading it. Just, did you list it for sale for $160,000?
We listed it on Zillow
Okay.
and didn't get any bites on it, so council decided to go ahead and rent it.
But that doesn't mean that you have to, if there's not an option to purchase in the lease agreement that's given to the tenant, you're not bound by the 160, although certainly you could leave it at 160, but, you know, things have changed in the last 2 years, but,
So you can wait on the appraisal price.
I'm not seeing in this lease agreement that there's an option to purchase in here.
There's not an option to purchase in there. That was
And
something that
the-
council did at that time.
But this doesn't say, this that I'm looking at here that says March 11th, 2019, said a motion was made by Raines and seconded by Turner to list 418 Olive as for sale by owner for $160,000 and/or rent for $850 a month until it's sold, and to review any rent with option to purchase offers from renters. So are you saying you have an option to purchase offer from the renter for $160,000?
This renter would like to buy the house so that they don't have to move, and he has not put anything in writing because
Okay.
we didn't know where council was wanting to go with it.
Okay,
And
but
that's why we did the
I don't
appraisal.
see how this binds the city to 160 the way this is written here. Now, it says that you're going to review any rent with option to purchase offers from the renters. So this says that if the renter wants to make an offer, you're going to consider it. But I don't see how this anyway binds you to $160,000 because it's not been listed for sale for $160,000 for the last 2 years, right?
Right.
So I don't think you're bound by the 160. That doesn't mean that 160 is not a fair price. But this that I'm reading here does not bind you to the 160. So you could wait on the appraisal and determine, or again, the renter, this says that you will entertain an option to purchase if the renter makes a purchase offer.
Right.
Right.
Which they haven't yet.
Which he has.
Can I make
said he
can I
was-
make a motion to sell it at 160 or the appraisal value, whichever is lower, with the bottom cap of 150?
Okay.
Second.
Are we giving the renter first
Yes.
chance? Okay.
He's already started his financing to see if he could get it.
Okay.
Okay, so
Yeah,
Eric
he
made
got
the
his
motion to
approval.
sell it for 160 or appraised value with bottom cap of 150. Okay.
Roll call, please.
I'm sorry, who was my second?
Josh?
Thank you. Hernandez,
Yes.
Wolf,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Dodson.
Yes. Trust manager comments?
None.
Governing board comments?
None. For me.
Entertain a motion.
So moved.
Who built the nice
Second.
building that the State Farm office is in?
William Belknap.
Huh?
William Belknap.
Wow, that's really nice.
Roll call, please.
Hernandez,
Yes.
Cool,
I guess I
Yes.
just hadn't looked that
Miller.
direction
Yes.
as I'm
Smith.
going through. That's really,
Yes.
Dodson.
Yes.
wow, that's a huge improvement from that corner.
I think I was gonna put some awnings over the doors.
Huh.
Kind of break that, it'll make it look a
I let
little
me
better.
go.
John's